Wired Love, A Romance of Dots and Dashes, by Ella Cheever Thayer. Narrated by Rebecca H. Lee. Chapter 1. Sounds from a Distant Sea. Just a noise. That is all. But a very significant noise to Miss Natalie Rogers, or Natty, as she was usually abbreviated. A noise that caused her to lay aside her book and jump up hastily, exclaiming with a gesture of impatience, "Somebody always calls me in the middle of every entertaining chapter." For that noise, that little clatter, like and yet too irregular to be the ticking of a clock, expressed to Natty these 4 mystic letters: Big B, little m, dash big X, little n. Which same 4 mystic letters, interpreted, meant that the name, or, to use the technical word, call, of the telegraph office over which she was present sole presiding genius, was Big B, little m, and that Big B, little m, was wanted by another office on the wire, designated as Big X, little n. A little out-of-the-way country office, some 50 miles down the line, was XN. And, as Natty signaled in reply to the call her readiness to receive any communications therefrom, she was conscious of holding in some slight contempt the possible abilities of the human portion of its machinery. For who but an operator very green in the profession would stay? Consequently, she was quite unprepared for the velocity with which the telegraph alphabet of sounds in dots and dashes rattled over the instrument, appropriately termed a sounder, upon which messages are received, and found herself wholly unable to write down the words as fast as they came. "Dear me," she thought rather nervously, "the country is certainly ahead of the city this time. I wonder if this smart operator is a lady or gentleman." And, notwithstanding all her efforts, she was compelled to break, that is, open her key, thereby breaking the circuit and interrupting XN with the request. "Please repeat." XN took the interruption very good-naturedly. It was after dinner, and obeyed without expressing any impatience. But alas, Natty was even now unable to keep up with this too expert individual of uncertain sex, and was obliged again to break, with the humiliating petition, "Please send slower." "Oh," responded XN. For a small one, "Oh" is a very expressive word. But whether this particular one signified impatience, or, as Natty sensitively feared, contempt for her abilities, she could not tell. But certain it was that XN sent along the letters now in such a slow, funereal procession that she was driven half frantic with nervousness in the attempt to piece them together into words. They had not proceeded far, however, before a small, thin voice fell upon the ears of the agitated Natty. "Are you taking a message now?" it asked. Natty glanced over her shoulder and saw a sharp, inquisitive nose, a green veil, a pair of eyeglasses, and a strained smile sticking through her little window. Nodding a hasty answer to the question, she wrote down another word of the message that she had been able to catch, notwithstanding the interruption. As she did so, the voice again queried, "Do you take them entirely by sound?" With a determined endeavor not to break, Natty replied only with a frown. But fate was evidently against her establishing a reputation for being a good operator with XN. "Here, please attend to this quick," exclaimed a new voice, and a tall gentleman pounded impatiently on the shelf outside the little window with one hand, and with the other held forth a message. With despair in her heart, once more Natty interrupted XN, took the impatient gentleman's message, studied out its illegible characters, and changed a bill, the owner of the nose looking on attentively
Sample complete. Ready to continue?